Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today's tutorial or video is going to be on this everyday natural look, and this is actually my third time recording this video because the other times were just fails and I wasn't happy with the camera quality, and I had to like adjust my lighting and whatever, so I finally got it right. And yeah, so if you'd like to see how I did this look, just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm starting off with already prepped and primed brows, and I'm taking my LA Pro Girl concealer in the shade Espresso, and I'm just going to put that all over my lids. Now I'm taking my Real Techniques Beauty Blender, which is completely damped, and I'm just gonna buff all of that out into my lid to make a blank canvas for the eyeshadow that we will be applying. By the way, if you guys would like to see a separate eyebrow tutorial, just let me know down in the comments and I'll put that into work. Now I'm taking my Morphe 39 A palette, and I'm taking those two brown shades, mostly the dark shade, and I'm just gonna pat that all over my eye with this brush that I got from the Morphe beginner set. Now I believe that it is discontinued, however I did find a dupe, so you can find the dupe in the description box below. I'm patting that all over my eye in an oval form or shape, if you want to call it, and I'm also mixing the brown that was above it, the one that like hit the pan. Now I'm taking my Morphe M518 brush, dipping that into another shade, into the 39A palette. By the way, these shades do have names. I lost the paper a long time ago, but yeah, I'm just buffing that out on the outer corners and outer ridges of the eyeshadow so it won't look too like blunt. I want it to, what's that word I'm looking for? I want it to fade into my eye, if I must say. Now I'm taking the Fenty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer in Soft Matte, and I am just going to dot that all over my face and just smooth it in, work it in so my foundation can stick to my face and stay put. I'm not used to wearing primer, by the way, so this is new for me. I'm gonna let it dry down a little bit so it can get a little tacky. Now I'm taking my foundation, which is the Lancôme Tint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation in the shade 550 Suede, and I'm going to apply that using a Morphe M439 brush. This brush is amazing. It's amazing for like really buffing it into the skin, really working it into the skin. So to me, it doesn't matter what foundation you wear. Well, I take that back, actually it does matter, but it really makes your foundation look like actual skin. I am not a fan of cakey makeup. You also want to blend your foundation into your ears and sometimes down your neck. I don't go all the way down because, you know, I match my foundation pretty well at Sephora, so. I'm going back in with my beauty blender, and I'm just going to buff it more into the skin because this is an everyday look. I want it to look like I don't have makeup on in a way. Now I'm taking my LA Pro Girl concealer in the shade Espresso, the same shade we use for the eyes, and I'm just gonna highlight my face right under my eye, my nose, my forehead, and my chin. Now for my forehead highlight, I actually started doing like this sun-shaped oval, half circle, whatever you want to call it, type of design, you may say, on my forehead. I found that it makes a big difference in where my concealer goes and just how it looks when I blend it out, and I just love how neat and together it looks. When blending out my concealer, I blend out the edges first, the outer skirts of the concealer first, and then I blend inwards. I'm a visual person, so I need to see how it's going to blend before I set it. Oh, now I'm gonna take my banana powder, and I'm gonna use my damp beauty blender and set my under eyes. Quick disclaimer, when I contour my nose, I don't contour to make it look skinny. I contour just to make it look structured. I want it to match the rest of my face. Since my face is looking very structured, I want my nose to look the same way. I used to set with a brush, but I found that setting with a beauty blender gives me a more flawless finish. And I let it sit for at least a minute. Now I am taking a brush that I got from the Morphe beginner's set, and I'm just gonna lightly dust off the excess powder. Like, I don't use a lot of pressure when dusting it off, just a light pressure. Now I'm taking my Fenty matchstick in the color Espresso, and I'm going to carve out my cheeks and contour my forehead and chin and nose. A good tip to contour is, I love working with the features that's already on my face. So if you can analyze your face and see, okay, where the deep cuts in your cheek go, and you just put your contour there, and then when you blend it out, it looks as natural as possible. I'm blending out my contour with a brush. It's called Best Dope from their one of their brush collections on Amazon, and I would call this a contour brush. I'm sure it has an official name, but I call it a contour brush. And when blending out contour on your cheekbones, I like dab up, if that makes sense, and then I swirl around, so everything blends in seamlessly with my highlight and contour. Now I'm taking the Morphe M118 brush, and I'm gonna use that to blend out my nose contour. Going back in with that banana powder, I'm gonna take the back of my beauty blender, dip it in, and cut my contour. I cut it from the front and I don't go all the way up to my ear because I found cutting from the front looks way more natural and stands out in a way that I love so much. I used to cut from my ear and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just my preference is to cut from the front. I'm taking a little bit of my setting powder and I'm just going to reset my eye because I see it's getting a little glossy and that's not what we want. Well, that's not what I want. Now to set my contour, I'm going to take my Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette in medium to dark, and I'm taking this powder brush that I got from Forever 21 years ago, and I'm gonna set my contour with the darkest shade in the palette. I know I need to get a new one. I don't know why I'm procrastinating, honestly. And I also want to try the Fenty contour palette bronzers, just to see how, you know, if it could do if not the same, a better job than what my Black Radiance is doing for me. I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe M518 brush and dip it into my Black Radiance palette and set my nose contour as well. Now I'm gonna take the Juvias Place Saharan Blush Volume 1 palette and I'm gonna use my Morphe E4 from the Elite Collection. And I'm just gonna dab into that red in the palette and create my blush. Now red blush for dark skins is amazing, and when you add orange to it, which I added a little too much as you can see and I tapped it off, when you blend those two together it looks so seamless and amazing. Pink still works, but you know, you gotta be careful with pink. For me at least, I gotta be careful. Now I'm gonna apply highlight to my cheeks and I'm using the Morphe M310. And I smile when I put on highlight because that's where I want the light to hit me, like, because I'm always smiling, you know, I'm always jumping for joy. So I want my highlight to blind people, blind all my enemies. I'm going back into my 39A palette with this Morphe brush that I got from the Beginners collection, and I'm just going to use the same colors, dab into that same color I put on my eye, under my eyelids, lower lash line, I'm sorry, just to be consistent with the colors around my eyes. And I almost forgot my lips. I dabbed off the excess Vaseline I had on it, and I'm going to take my Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Chocolate Wasted and line my lips. Now I don't use liner because they just don't, you know, they don't work for me. I don't like the way they blend, so I use liquid lipsticks instead. I'm gonna take the MAC Velvet Teddy lipstick. I'm gonna put that in the center of my lips and blend it out. Now taking an NK lip gel that I got from the dollar store, and I'm just gonna apply that on top of my lips to make it glossy. I call this process glassing because I feel like my lips look like glass when I do this. This is my favorite part. Well, one of my favorite parts. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara using the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara in Carbon Black. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching my video.